What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another boring build on an everyday vehicle, which at this point is getting less common than Lamborghinis. So we got a 2007 GMC Yukon. It's not a bad hit. Looks like it tried to occupy the same lane as a truck. Not sure who was at fault, but they were clearly both in the same place at the same time. Pretty easy job. Let's start with the easy bolt-on parts. We got two doors. Both need to be replaced. A rear hatch, a taillight, and a bumper. The most major part of the repair is going to be this quarter panel. Pretty easy. Might end up changing the wheelhouse with it. We'll see how it comes apart. There's a little bit of work to do underneath here on the floor. We'll pull it out. Should be able to save the floor. I'm guessing the HVAC box in the back might be a little damaged too, but we have that as well. We're going to need a taillight pocket. We're going to take all this stuff off of our parts truck from our last Yukon. Got a couple scrapes on our fender, which is not a huge deal. They'll probably buff off, but we're going to blend the door into the fender anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So this truck came from Virginia, so it's pretty clean. There's not too much rust underneath it, not like the Illinois cars we have. Here's our spring. Leads me to believe there might be some bad suspension parts. Got the door handle, but I don't think any glue is going to help fix this one. Same with the bumper. It's not a super loaded up truck, but it is pretty clean. It's got brand new tires on it. Oil changes are up to date. It looks like it was well maintained. These are the kind I like. So it looks like the exhaust took a hit right here, shoved it forward, and knocked it into where the spring goes. Hopefully that's the only reason the spring is out and we don't have anything that's too messed up in there. We'll find out as soon as we get this tire off. The rim's got a little nick on it, but I have a nice set off the parts truck, so we're going to throw those on, or at least one. The exhaust is usually pretty pricey and hard to find at salvage yards, but I happen to have one. So occasionally you get tired of dealing with dead batteries on every single auction car you pick up. So I've learned to adapt. Had this thing charging the whole way home, which was 11 hours. So it should be fully charged if the battery's any good. We don't have to worry about throwing a battery charger on it overnight. Let's see if it starts. Not bad. It's even pretty clean in here. Can't call this one the yuckin'. Says I gotta check the tire pressure in the right rear. Other than that, no lights on. Has a bench seat, which is pretty rare on these, and no third row. No navigation. It does have a sunroof. Not a bad truck. So we got some foggy headlights that we'll be able to buff off, hopefully. We're missing the M. Must have been one of those people that are still convinced that this doesn't have a motor. Maybe I can get an E. We'll just turn it sideways. Make those guys happy. So now that we know it runs, let's get it off the trailer. It must be afternoon. Guess who showed up?
Do I have to do anything to make it go the right way?
Squeeze the trigger. Had to enlist the CrossFitter. There's tires to be removed.
Bam.
Am I supposed to clean the dirty parts before I throw them away? In the pile. So now we're going to unbolt the bottom of the shock. This is that new two-piece design. In the pile, drop the rear end down.
Were you saying this is supposed to be one piece with this?
Yep.
Whoa.
Okay, go ahead. Now we'll unbolt the top of the shock. Okay, it's on. Pry it out of there. In the pile. And put our new used shock in there. And put the rubber pads on our spring.
So I wanted to test you first.
Took these off our parts car too. So you got it seated. Put the spring in there. Can you let the jack down a little bit?
Down?
Yeah. Turn the handle.
You know I'm really bad at this, guy.
Yeah, whatever. To drop the rear end down a little bit so it'll fit. Okay, stop. I'll turn it back the other way and jack it up a little bit. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Up?
Yeah. Guide it into place while she jacks it up. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop right there. Let it down just a tiny bit. This time it does matter. Now we can put our shock in, bolt it into the bottom of the rear end. Okay, go up. So tighten it up a little more. Okay, perfect.
You said this time it does matter.
Yeah. Well, last time it didn't. Tighten it up. Okay. Let me get this in here and then you can tighten it up with the impact. I'll tighten up the top with the less than convenient method. If the spare tire wasn't in the way, it wouldn't be so bad. Okay. Hold this in to move.
I'm trying, but it's not in a very good position. Okay, now.
Push wherever you need. Now I'll change our sway bar link. Also a two-piece design.
Change this thing out of it.
No, it won't come out. It comes out in the pile. I'll slide our new one up there. That's kind of what's wrong with the one that's on here. The bolt through the top. Take what's left of the link off the sway bar itself. A pair of vice grips on the bottom to hold the inside, and unbolt it. Put that end of the sway bar link in the hole in the sway bar.
How am I gonna get it?
I gotta jack up the rear end so that it'll line up with the sway bar. Push, push. It's in there. It's in a rubber mount. Get it? Hey, I gotta go down a little bit. Or no. Up a little bit. Now we can tighten up that link. I'll tighten up the top. Click.
That's a big lift. I feel like you're expecting big things out of me on this one.
I have to go up.
Yeah, not my fault.
My bad.
Okay. But now I can't have my hand in here, right? To get it on. I can?
Don't let it pinch. Okay, you got one. Drop down on this. There you go. Push it out. Push it out. Okay. Like that. One in there.
My fans are gonna say, where are the gloves?
Alright, hop up there.
This is a terrible idea.
Alright, put it in reverse. Come on back. Come on.
I'm so scared.
Come on. You're fine. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Ah!
Alright, a little bit more. Okay. Put it in park. You can leave it run.
I did it.
Now we're going to pull the running board off the right side. Take the brackets and everything off together. Okay, now lift up. Lift it. Lift it up a little bit. In the pile. I'll take the rear bumper off. Unbolt the liner. And just pull the bumper out. Put on clips on the quarter panels. On this side anyway. I'm missing the piece on the other side. Pop out the little Christmas trees on the top. She'll take off the 7mm screws across the top, and I'll get the 2 10s underneath. So after changing our suspension, kind of figured out how that spring escaped. So when it got hit by the truck, the big tires threw the body up in the air, and the tire caught the rear end and forced it down. So essentially stretched everything out. That's what snapped that shock in half and broke our sway bar link. The truck came slamming down with no spring inside. Had to be one heck of a ride, but that's all it took. Just overextending the rear end. We'll measure the wheelbase, make sure everything's good before we send it for our alignment, but it didn't look like we have any bent control arms or any other suspension parts. So like the video if you found it interesting, share it if you think somebody else might, subscribe to see the rest of this build. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. So tune in next week when the afternoon crew is introduced to Mr. Air Chisel. Keep going.
Hurts my finger.
Squeeze harder.
Damn. It hurts.
Ah, you're squeezing harder. How lazy people close doors.